The purpose of this video is to show you how to use the Eclipse debugger. So the main concept in debugging is that rather than using print statements to show you what's going on, you actually get to stop the execution of the program using what's called a breakpoint and then see what's going on. So right here on this line, doesn't matter where you click on the line, I'm going to set a breakpoint. So if you go into Run, there's a toggle breakpoint, Control-Shift-B. And when we do that, we see that little blue dot there. Okay, so now I'm going to run the program, but you can't just run. You have to run. Actually, I'm not sure if it's. You got to go run debug. So instead of Control F11, if you've been using shortcuts, you debug with F11, and it's going to switch your views. So look at what we've got so far right here. It's because this is going to switch. Okay, this is what they call a perspective. And we're going to switch the perspective. It's going to show you different windows. So the source code is moved over here. There's a new window that pops up here for variables. There is console is moved down here. We lost the package explorer. And this actually, you see this red stops sign here? That means that we're actually in debugging now. This line that we're highlighted here, and you see this little arrow here, that means we're actually it says right there, it says debug current instruction pointer, line breakpoint. Okay, so we're now on a breakpoint, and right now the only variable that we have in this frame is args, the one that was passed in. Okay, so now let's look at the options for when we're running. We can now step over is generally what the command you're going to use. Step into, so if you want to step into a function, you can press F5. I believe F8, yes, F8 is resume. But let's just step through some line. Okay, so I'm going to be pressing F6. Let's go F6, F6, and so let's see, we have a new drawing panel around here somewhere. I think it's in a window hidden here. Yes, so the drawing panel has already come up. I'm going to bring it down here so that it doesn't get in the way though. And so we create a new scanner, and then notice as we go through here, we've already created new items. So we created the DP, we created the graphics. Okay, now it's going to draw the stage, and so you can't see both of these windows going on at the same time, but now you have that. I've changed my windows around so that you can actually see the graphics at the same time. So let's get our code back into view. So now we're going to get the secret word. Okay, now let's take a look. Unfortunately, I've lost some of this here, but you can now see what the secret word is. The secret word is guess. And we're going to print the secret word so that appears here. And now this string, oh, here's a good one to take a look at. String equals S correct equals a bunch of this dots taking the substring, blah, 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 blah. Let's just step over that and see what we got for S correct now. S correct is 5 dots corresponding to the 5 letters here. So that's how that works. Now let's go a little bit farther down here. So it's gonna, here's a for loop here. Suppose I want to see what the current guess is each time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a breakpoint here by doing run toggle breakpoint, and of course you can remove a breakpoint by doing that same thing, and then I'm going to hit F8 or use run resume. Now what that does is that jumps down to where this line is. So now S current guess has already been filled in, so let's see what S current guess is. S current guess is Y. So now we know what Y is. We don't have to print it out. And then we can move on here. And let's watch over here. When I draw that guess text, boom. Okay. Now S wrong. Let's take a look what S wrong is right now. S wrong is nothing. And by the way, you see that highlight, the yellow highlight? When it changes a variable, it will highlight that. Now watch what happens when we increment add S wrong with the current guess. Boom. S wrong has now been changed, and so it's got Y. And now we're going to draw the body. Boom. Body. Okay, and so we can step through these line by line, or I can just hit F8 and it's going to keep on jumping to the next. Let's get Y into frame here. There's Y. The S guess, sorry. The S guess is, oh, I can't find it now. S current guess, that's what I was looking for. The S current guess, let's see if I can keep it in frame. No, that's not a very good thing that Eclipse does. It loses what I was looking at. But I can stop each time that a letter is drawn out here, and then take a look at what the variables are. Now, unfortunately, unlike in Python, the interpreted language, you cannot, at least in this IDE, go and then actually try to evaluate some expressions. You can take a look at what the data is, and I'm not sure if you can actually act on the data or not. Some IDEs will actually let you evaluate some simple expressions in Java or modify them. I don't think you can here, but at this point you definitely shouldn't. What you should be doing is trying to figure out, gee, why is my figure drawing incorrectly? Well, you can see it at each stage by setting a breakpoint and then seeing what it's doing. You'll have to go into your code, of course, instead of my code, but that's how the debugger works. And then when you're done with the debugger, you want to either use the stop button here, or you can toggle all breakpoints, I believe. Skip all breakpoints here. You can remove all breakpoints, so I'll remove all breakpoints, and then I will just hit F8 resume, and it'll keep on going. Okay. Other things to remember about debugging. Let's see. You're gonna have to click stop here when you want to stop. I also find it's this weird thing with Eclipse where even though it's hit the end of the main, it's not actually stopping. Even though it's stopped, it's not like terminating. I guess because they want you to still be have access to all the tools or something. But anyways, you're going to click stop to actually close that program. And yeah, I think that's about it for the basics of debugging. One other important thing that I forgot to mention is when you're in debugging mode, so here we're in debugging mode, we've gotten through run debug, and you've got this particular kind of window layout here, you may want to go back and be able to get to your old window layout. And up here in the upper right, there is this bug looking symbol that is debug. These are the perspectives, I think as they call it. So you can switch from debug to Java, which is your programming. Open perspective, I'm not sure what that does. I guess maybe you can choose which perspective. So if you are in debugging and you want to go take a look at the libraries or whatever, this is how you get back. Also, let's go back into debugging. If things are terminated properly here, then I believe, no, it didn't bring us back. Okay, so that's all the more important. You need to go up here to go to Java, or let's see, if I click on perspectives, yes, I can get to it from there, and there's probably some other way too, but that's how you get in and out of the debug perspective.